Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us as we officially launch the Election Command Center. And this basically is how we will give you up-to-date coverage of events before, during, and after the 2020 elections. And of course, we continue the message of peace, looking at other African countries and how there's been political unrest. If we look at Uganda with President Museveni, and also go to Cameroon and other countries. Just yesterday, it was announced that the Togolese president might get, or it's possible to get the nod again for another 5 years. And of course, it's been marred with a lot of controversy, a lot of riots, and we know how much it is important to preach the message of peace here in Ghana, because we have become the beacon of hope and of light and of peace to other African countries.
Absolutely, I can agree with you much. And I want to say that we do know the importance of peace, and it's a non-negotiable commodity. If we're talking about development economically in every sphere of our country, peace is important. And that's why for us here at Media General, we have decided to focus our election coverage on the message of peace. I am Alfredo Kanse.
Yes, and I'm Brella Mundi, and by the way, we are live across board, all platforms under the Media General family, Onua TV and Onua FM, Connect FM, Akuma FM, TV3, of course, and across our digital platforms. And so at TV3 Ghana and all the other platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Also live on 3news.com, on TV3 Ghana, on Facebook. There's a lot to expect in the next 60 minutes here on your Election Command Center. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Let's put our hands together. Thank you so much.
And the conversation, even this morning, has been the fact that why is TV3 launching the Election Command Center so early, you know, especially when the NPP has not even gone for their primaries yet. We know that's happening on the 25th of April. And so it looks as if we're giving them as much mileage as possible.
Absolutely.
But of course, it has been important. Alfred, don't you think so?
I do agree perfectly. And we are aware of our responsibilities here and the media's role in ensuring that we have a free, fair, transparent election. And so we doing this at this time is just to let you know that we do know what we have to do. And preparation is important to us.
Absolutely. Well, we cannot start this launch without, of course, calling on the Almighty. And so I think at this point, we're going to have to say a word of prayer. And
Sure.
so we're going to invite Pastor William Beckson to give us the opening prayer. A round of applause for him, please.
Shall we rise in honor of God to say the opening prayer, please? Not that we are sufficient of ourselves to think anything as of ourselves, but our sufficiency is of you, eternal and everlasting Father, source of life and vitality. We thank you today for grace. We thank you for the gift of life. And we thank you for grace for this year's election and the coverage of it by the election Command Center. I ask in Jesus' name, Father, that we would receive courage to align with the truth. I pray for wisdom to guide our affairs with discretion during the coverage. I ask for preservation and protection for an incident-free coverage for 2020 election. And I pray above all for peace and tranquility before, during, and after the election. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen.
Thank you so much, Pastor. And a round of applause for him one more time. And like I mentioned, we're live on TV3 and across all platforms as well.
God is a Prince of Peace. So we definitely need him in this whole process. And that's why it's important that we started with it. There's a few acknowledgements we have to do very quickly.
Well, yeah, so I'd like to say good morning to our group CEO, Madam Beatrice Ajiman, and of course the executive committee.
Thank you
for joining us. Also in our Mrs. Australian High Commissioner, Andrew Barnes. Thank you so much, His Excellency, for joining us as well.
Thank you.
All protocol observed. We also have the
Absolutely.
Peace Council here as well. Thank you so much for
we're
joining us.
going to be introducing all the other dignitaries as we go along. So you out there watching us will get to know who is here. And we do acknowledge the thousands of you as well who are watching us on your televisions across all Media General platforms, also on TV3 Ghana, on Facebook, across the world. And so at this moment, we would want to get to know exactly why we're here with the welcome address and the purpose for gathering here this morning. Mr. Abraham Masari is the Acting General Manager, News. Please put your hands together for him.
And quickly before he speaks, let's fix our gaze on the screens. We have something really brief to show you. Thank you.
Political season. It's manifesto against manifesto.
You can do all the lies and propaganda with the economy you like. The reality of the people's lives will expose you.
What is going to happen in the future and ahead? Negativity, negativity, negativity.
It's policy against policy.
Let's correct the virus now. No one in this country is bigger than this country.
And they continue to break all their promises, torture us with all their lives, and enslave us.
Candidate against candidate.
We have never had any policy coming from this leader.
We have not told false promises just because we want political power.
The campaign trail will keep you updated to the minute and help ensure that your vote is informed. The campaign trail only on TV3. The Election Command Center.
We did it in 2016. Now, in the year 2020, December elections. Stay with us here on your Election Command Center across all Media General platforms as we cross the T's and dot the I's. We have eyes across all the 275 constituencies in all the 16 regions across the country. This is your Election Command Center.
In 2016, we covered places others dread to go. And in this year's election, we are just about to show you why we are your Election Command Center.
All right, and now to give us the welcome address and purpose of this gathering, the General Manager for News, Acting Abraham Asare.
The Deputy Minister of Information, Honorable Pius Enam Hajide, Member of the National Peace Council Board, Reverend Dr. Nia Mudako, Group CEO of Media General, Beatrice Sajimanabi, Chairman of the NMC, Mr. Yaobedu Ayabuafo, the President of the GJA, Roland Afilmoni, Mr. Ebenezer Mpabeng, who is representing the DG of GBC, Mr. Franklin Sowa is representing the MD of Daily Graphic. Of course, we have here Mr. Kobe Asma, who is also who is the editor of the Daily Graphic. Reps of the Electoral Commission, political parties represented here, civil society groups, the Australian High Commissioner to Ghana, Mr. Andrew Barnes, members of the media, my colleague media men, ladies and gentlemen, of course my colleague general managers here present. Thank you very much for coming. And it is my pleasure to welcome all of you to this very important event, the launch of our coverage of this year's general elections, which we call the Election Command Center. This is to announce the readiness of the television, radio, and digital platforms of the Media General Group to bring to viewers, listeners, and of course readers the news as it happens with unbiased reportage. In 2016, TV3 was the most watched TV station on election day, according to Geopoll. And Geopoll data also show that on daily basis, an average of more than 3 million persons watch our news bulletins from morning till close down. Media General News occupies a very important position in the media space in this country. For us, therefore, there is no room to disappoint our audiences. To us, the stakes are very high, and we are committed to ensuring that mistakes are minimal as we bring confidence and hope to our people and not despair. We are fully aware of the devastations that unprofessional journalistic pieces have brought to nations in some parts of the world. And we know that as a leading media company in Ghana, we cannot afford to go the slippery path of others. And that is why we have chosen the theme, I Pledge to Peace, for our coverage of this year's elections. There's a presentation on what our peace agenda involves right after this, but permit me to set the tone by saying this is not just a slogan. It is an ingrained commitment by the individual journalist, the editor, the presenter, and producer, and those who shall engage to be guided by the guidelines in Media General's editorial policy for the ultimate aim to ensure that our dedication to professionalism is unsurpassed. Our work in this space is indeed guided by our editorial policy, hinged on truth, impartiality, and accuracy, social responsibility, public interest, and the law. It cautions us about the pitfalls of defamation and contempt and guards against the temptation of stereotyping and meaningless portrayals. We are fully conscious of these, so we cannot and we shall not fail. We'd like to assure all our viewers, listeners, and readers of an improved coverage as we churn out more captivating content across all platforms: TV3, Onia TV, 3FM, Onia FM, Connect FM in Takrady, Akoma FM in Kumasi, and of course, 3news.com. The news team is ready to give all political parties fair coverage. Should any party or candidate require any help above what is planned for all the parties, which we shall unveil to you as we meet you subsequently, we shall be ready to discuss that. We have also developed various affordable packages for all political parties, their parliamentary candidates, and of course the independent candidates, to promote their activities and propagate their messages beyond just the basic coverage of their campaign activities. I will encourage clients who are basically indifferent when it comes to supporting political programs to give it a try and support Media General's election programs for us to deepen our democracy and promote issue-based campaign. At this point, I'd like to thank you all for making time to be with us this morning. God bless you, and God bless our homeland, Ghana. I pledge to peace. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Mr. Abraham Asare. Thank you. Thank you so much. And this definitely is not just a slogan. We believe in it, we're working with it, and we wake up to it, and that guides our work, isn't it, Bella?
Well, absolutely, I believe so. Absolutely, I believe so, and I think he hit the nail right on the head, and the onus lies on us as media professionals and also as Ghanaians in general to guide and protect our peace with every being within us. And so it's important.
Absolutely, very, very important. And let me just remind you that we're live on TV3 Ghana on Facebook, Onia 95.1 FM and 3FM 92.7, Akoma 87.9 in Kumasi, also Connect 97.1 FM in Takrady and beyond, as well as on TV3 and also on Onia TV. There's a lot to look out for as we go on into the December 2020 polls. We're going to go for this quick break. We're back shortly. Stay with us, please. Put your hands together. Thank you so much.
I've lifted, I've raised my word above that aquatic man or down. My word is above them. So when you keep the word inside of you, be lifted above them. Now silence any accusers, accusations. When you hear the word, walk in it. Be the practitioner of the word, and you see divine power. Because there is power in the word of God. Amen. There is power in God's word. Amen. There's revelation in God's word. Amen. There is secret in God's word. If you cannot change, how can you do it for you? They cannot stand before you. Amen.
Word of Testimony Church shows Saturdays at 5:30 a.m. on TV3.
Oh look, we're almost there. Yes, that's right. This is going to be our new home.
In here, no one will think of doing us any harm.
No one in our family is weak. Help me!
Can we be friends, gorgeous?
Get away from me! Get out! Leave our house, you pervert!
I'll sue you! Your position doesn't scare me, even if you think you own this town.
All I'm saying is... You killed my husband! Leave! Get out of here! You know what to do with her. Run! No!
In her darkest hour, she meets someone who will help her.
Legally, you are now my adopted child. You'll be called from now on Ivy Aguas. You need to be ready and strong.
ABS-CBN proudly presents a story about love and revenge.
You look familiar. Have we met before?
That's impossible.
Can love free a heart that thirsts for revenge? Revenge has never been this wild.
I am going to make sure that all of you will feel the pain of my wrath.
Wildflower, coming soon on TV3.
All right, you're welcome back. It's the official launch of the Election Command Center by Media General, and we're preaching just one message, which is very important for every Ghanaian living in and outside the country, and it's the fact that we all are pledging to peace. And so that's why we've gathered here. We started just a few minutes ago, and so don't worry if you just tuned in. You haven't missed much. And of course, you can listen to us on radio and watch us on TV. And so on TV digital, we have TV3, and we also have Onua TV. You can also tune into Onua FM, Connect FM, and Akoma FM, and also on our digital platforms across social media, where you can, of course, stay with us and find out what exactly is happening. And so as you are watching, I hope that you remember to also pledge to peace. It is important. And now we're going to move on to the rest of the show. But quickly, we have a peace message from some of our politicians, of course, who are at the forefront of this campaign, because everything lies at their doorstep. And so depending on what happens at that point, it will also determine what happens, in Ghana as well. And so right after that, we'll have the GM for Digital and Radio, Mr. Francis Doku, do a presentation on our peace campaign. And so please put your hands together. Thank you so much.
No president, not a single one of them, no party, and no election is bigger than the lives of the people of this country. I am Kwesi Ahoy, and I sit here to pledge to peace.
We should remember that in the event of violence, citizens of Ghana have nowhere to go. This is our land, the land of our mothers, the land of our fathers, and we'll have nowhere to go. So let's unite behind unity and prosperity. Let's unite behind national development and consensus building. Let us unite behind a broad national development agenda, devoid of any schism, devoid of brawn, but indeed inundated and fertilized by brain power. God be with us, and let us go and vote in peace. I, Osei Che Mensah Bonsu, pledge to peace.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Francis Doku, and I'm here to talk briefly about some of the things we plan to escalate our peace campaign this year. We have planned to launch an I Pledge to Peace campaign, which will run across our television stations, our radio stations, online, and then we have on-ground events to support this campaign. I'm sure we'll all know that election-related violence has been a growing trend in Africa since the wave of democracy spread through the continent in the 90s. In 1991, Ghanaians voted yes in a referendum to return to democratic rule. And after 10 years of a military rule, we went for a successful election in 1992, ushering in the Fourth Republic of our country. Even though the country has not been ravaged by a civil war or conflict after an election, we're all aware that we've witnessed some pockets of violence in some parts of the country. In spite of this, we Ghanaians believe and we convince ourselves to be a peace-loving people. And we at Media General want to help in our small way to preserve this notion and the peace that we have. It is in view of this that we are leading a campaign to call on our citizens to pledge to maintain the peace and stability in our country before, during, and after the upcoming general elections in December. It is for this reason that we are urging all of us to pledge for a peace campaign. What do you mean when we say we are initiating a peace campaign? We're asking all citizens of Ghana, different classes of people, and by that we mean chiefs, queen mothers, politicians, opinion leaders in different cities and communities, celebrities, and our entire citizens and other influential people to commit to peace. The I Pledge to Peace campaign would have us go around to take videos, photos, and other audio recordings of people pledging to peace, and we'll broadcast this on our television stations, our radio stations, post to our Facebook, our online platforms, and all other digital platforms we have. We would ask people to comment on their commitment to peace. And we have also planned to hold walks and events across the country to cement this campaign. So, from next month, March 14 to be exact, we'll start our peace walk from Tamale, which will be serving the northern part of the country. We'll have a peace walk across the streets of Tamale, and then we will complete that with a session where we'll have opinion leaders, chiefs, politicians come to talk to the youth and many people who we believe will attend, and then also commit to peace at that program. So our walk would start through the streets of Tamale and end at the police park, where an aerobic session will take place, and we'll have this commitment from opinion leaders. Then our next one, which will take place in May, will be in the Western Zone. In the Western Zone, which will take place in Takoradi, we'll go through the principal streets of Takoradi and Sekondi, and then end at the Jubilee Park, where we'll have opinion leaders, celebrities. We believe that people who follow them, and all our citizens will commit to peace in that region. And we'll broadcast that on all our platforms, including Connect FM, which serves that market. And then we will go to Ashanti to serve the zone, Kumasi to be precise, in July, where we'll have the peace walk through some of the principal streets of Kumasi. And then we'll end at the Heroes Park for the aerobic session, and people, opinion leaders, politicians, celebrities come to talk to us and give their commitment also to peace. And we will climax all this with a big concert in Accra in November. We'll hold what we call the United Ghana concert, which we would have all the big name celebrities in this country coming to perform, opinion leaders, politicians leading and presenting on the night. And we believe that all our citizens will have committed to this by that time, because that will be close to December when the election will take place. And we'll broadcast this live on television, on radio, across our various platforms. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is for us to let you know that as a media organization, and a leading one for that, we are all committed to peace. And so these are some of the images that will be taken when we go around the country, when some of these leading people come to our different stations in Accra, in Kumasi, in Takoradi, and across the country. We'll be committing ourselves to peace, and we urge all of us as citizens, as opinion leaders, as normal people who are committed to the peace of this country, because as you know, and as my colleague Mr. Asari said, we only have this country, and we can all make peaceful commitment. So we urge you all to help us. Let this be successful. My name is Francis Doku, and I pledge to peace.
And definitely he pledges to peace. Thank you. Let's put our hands together for Mr. Francis Doku, General Manager, Digital and Radio. Thank you. Thank you so much. And for us here, since we began, this is our focal point and that rallying point that we're going to be doing this election coverage. But certainly, as Mr. Doku outlined, it's a nationwide coverage that we're going to be having, and as well, the involvement of everyone. That clarion call that we're making, we're hoping that there will be the buy-in of every Ghanaian out there, and that's what we intend to do. That's why we outline all of these programs to go across the country to have every one of us get involved. And at this point, I know that we all do pledge to peace, don't we? So can I hear us say, I pledge to peace. I pledge to peace.
I pledge to peace.
For the last time, I pledge to peace. Thank you very much. And quickly, we go on to have another video presentation from celebrities who are also giving us the peace message, and politicians as well.
I pledge to peace. My name is Yabuabin Asamoah, Member of Parliament for the Adentan constituency in the Greater Accra region and Director of Communications for the New Patriotic Party. This year, we want an exceptional election. Exceptional because it's not the first one we've had. It's the 8th we are about to have under the 1992 Constitution, which so far has served us very well. We are calling on all Ghanaians to debate, to engage, to discuss, to talk. Even if heated, we can argue amongst ourselves, but we must never resort to violence to push a political process. That is a no-no, because violence degrades everything. We in the New Patriotic Party believe that our policies will hold up our reputation as a responsible political party, and in that sense, we are again pledging to peace. I pledge to peace.
The Election Command Center.
Hi everybody, my name is Kim Promise. I want to say to everybody, let's come together as one, let's say no to violence, and I pledge to peace.
The Election Command Center.
Emuda hopepe, sani etieno, saga pepe eni ejebro. Sapania krato famwa, yebema waswati.
Nchechemu emudo.
Dietiemu bia, yadebebro. Ahaya Election Command Center. Abatso bremu, asumdwe kwani yehye. Enti na me, achiwa konedu iyadom. Mejina hodema asumdwe.
Afia tagonie. Eha, aya Election Command Center. Asumdwe kwa. I pledge to peace.
Aha, aya Election Command Center. Medindi Asempa, I pledge to peace.
Aha, aya Election Command Center. Nidin anochi waba adwa sewa afi ya batwafi enti asumdwe na ekura ye no yenkura mu ye. I pledge to peace.
The Election Command Center.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And you have the likes of Efia Tago. You know, the name itself, pledging to peace. There's definitely a good reason to want to believe that we're all out for this. Thank you so much. And we would want to now get a very, very important message that also leverages on that theme that we here at Media General have decided to focus on. Would have Reverend Dr. Nii Amodaakon, who is a board member of the National Peace Council, give us a message of peace. Please, let's put our hands together as we welcome Reverend Dr. Nii Amodaakon.
Madam Chairperson, the Deputy Minister of Information, representatives of the Electoral Commission, the Australian High Commissioner, very special invited guest, Brother Ayeboafo Afomoni, Kakra Samoa, and others that I can't make out. the media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen, the National Peace Council, NPC, in delivering its mandate in the interest of the peace and stability of Ghana, will continue to urge all political parties, groups, individuals to be decorous and circumspect in their campaigning in view of the upcoming 2020 presidential and parliamentary general election. The National Peace Council is a statutory body mandated by an Act of Parliament, Act 818 of 2011, to facilitate and develop mechanisms for conflict prevention, management, resolution, and to build sustainable peace in the country, among other things. Our core mandate includes promoting understanding of the values of diversity, trust, tolerance, confidence building, negotiation, dialogue, and reconciliation. We call on all political parties, big and small alike, to maintain a high sense of circumspection and restraint as they mount their political platforms this electoral year. We would appeal to all to engage in issue-based campaigning as they market themselves to the nation and avoid all forms of invectives. The National Peace Council condemns in no uncertain terms acts of provocation that undermines cultural sensitivities and our diversity that have the potential to plunge the nation into political chaos and violence. We pledge, humbly urge the eminent leaders of the various political parties. We humbly urge all the eminent leaders of the various political parties to take leadership and hold their supporters in check to ensure that they do not engage in such provocative acts. Applauding the initiative of Media General of the launching of this Election Command Center, whose pledge, and I'm told it's not just a pledge but a theme, is I pledge to peace. The Council would, however, urge you, Media General, and all media houses to report on the election in a way that promotes peace in the country. The media has a crucial role to play in ensuring peace in the country before, during, and after the elections. Both the print and the electronic media play major roles in our election year. The influence of especially the electronic media in the shaping of public opinion cannot be underestimated. Political parties in advanced democracies have learned how to use the mass media to their advantage. Indeed, in most countries of the world, general elections are fought out almost entirely on the television by means of discussion, promotions, debates, and canvassing of political ideas. The National Peace Council would like to appeal to and encourage the relevant security agencies to act swiftly and professionally in dealing with any infractions of the law to ensure that all political parties, groups, and individuals keep the peace and stability of the nation without any partiality. Peace and stability is the bedrock of progress in any society. However, peace and stability is only possible if the people, that is the citizenry, have a say in the way they are governed. That is why elections are relevant in any democracy. Elections must always, therefore, be a true reflection of the say of the people which is the citizenry, in a free, transparent, and fair manner. Now, this attitude towards conducting an election in a free, transparent, and fair manner promotes and establishes a peaceful country. Peace is too expensive a commodity to gamble with. Election-related violence have brought too many untold hardships to many a nation, and as a result, have brought them to their knees, and recovery has never been easy. It is therefore incumbent on the Electoral Commission to be guided by conscience, the love of God, and love of country, and to exercise their constitutional mandate in a manner that will result in the country continuing to remain peaceful and stabilized before, during, and post-election. I, not too long ago, heard the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, pledged to make sure that under his watch we would have a peaceful, free, transparent, and fair election. We at the National Peace Council would take the President's pledge as a surety and promise to, on our own part as a council, do our utmost best under our mandate to help facilitate a peaceful election. Posterity, the children of tomorrow, will never forgive us if we do anything to disturb the peace and stability of the country. They will, however, be proud of us all if we bequeath a peaceful, stabilized, and united country to them. Finally, Madam Chairperson, let me, on behalf of the Chairman of the National Peace Council and its members, the board, and on my own behalf, congratulate the Media General on this initiative and launch. May the purpose of this platform be achieved as you spearhead in using your networks to urge political parties, groups, and individuals to desist from any action that will disturb the peace and the stability of the country. On that note, I pledge to peace and wish you all God's blessing. Thank you very much.
Undisputable analysis, trusted reporters,
widest coverage, clear opinions,
factual data,
fair and balanced.
This is your Election Command Center. My name is Komla Kluche. I pledge to peace.
Aisha Yakubu. This is your Election Command Center, and I pledge to peace.
I pledge to peace. My name is Johnny Hughes, and this is your Election Command Center.
Stephen Ente. I pledge to peace. This is your Election Command Center.
This is your Election Command Center. I am Nanekia Mensah Brampa, and I pledge to peace.
Berla Mundi from your Election Command Center, and I pledge to peace.
I pledge to peace. I am Alfred Okansey, and this is your Election Command Center.
The Election Command Center.
In 2016, we promised, we delivered it yet another election year, and your Election Command Center promises to do even much better.
You can rely on the Election Command Center for all the information relating to the elections from the Western and Western North region.
Right, and yes, we all pledge to peace. Earlier, you heard from Reverend Dr. Nia Modako. He's a board member from the Peace Council. And thank you so much for those nuggets of wisdom. It's important that we continue to maintain the peace. Now, earlier, when my other colleagues were speaking in Tree, they mentioned the Mijna Homa Asumje. In Ghana, we say what? In the Moshiha, Twain Hejole. So in Ewe, how do we say it? Medekuku, help me out. And very shortly, we'll be learning a new language. And so I'll come to the Australian High Commissioner to also tell us how it's said in his language. But how do you say it in Ewe? Can I come down? Okay, maybe I should. All right, let's do this. Who do I come to? Oh, Deputy Minister. Oh! Honorable Pius. How do you say it?
How do you say it? Say again.
I pledge to peace in Ewe. Hey, Meleloso. Are you getting it?
Well, it will come.
It will come. Oh, okay. We'll start from Tamale. So maybe by the time we get here, we'll be. Anybody? Okay. There's someone here as well who can help us. Oh, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm well.
Okay. So are we going to help us out here?
I'm in OT, so I can help you when you come.
No problem. Help us.
Inyang mte netonto buchin kukenwi boba.
Sorry, easy. Relax. We're learning. Enyanto.
Inyang mte netonto buchin kukenwi boba.
Okay, a round of applause for Mr. Kofi Adams. That's all I can say. I'm coming to the Australian High Commissioner. Should I? You want to learn something? Okay. Hello, sir. Thank you so much for joining us, by the way. So how do we say I stand to peace I pledge to peace, pardon me, in your language?
Thanks very much. We would say in Australia, first of all, good on you, mate. And then we would say, I pledge to peace.
I had good on your mate, so that's good morning. Good. Oh, good on you, mate. Oh. Any other language? One more, maybe from the north, so we can carry on. Anyone from the north here? Okay, I believe not. It doesn't matter. We all pledge to peace anyway. And this is just to drum home that clarion call that we all need to maintain the peace in our country. We'll move on quickly. And I'd like to introduce Mr. Yabwedu Ayeboafo. He is the chairman for the National Media Commission, to give us a message as well. A round of applause for him.
Thank you very much. I am not used to protocol. So if I break protocol, forgive me. I mean, the purpose of our being here is to see to the good of our country. And whatever that we do, that will make this country a beacon for others, is what we must commit to. As a person who have lived through all these processes, in 1992, I was the news editor at the Daily Graphic, and therefore it was my responsibility to ensure that the media was fair to everybody. And you can understand in 1982 the circumstances. Even talking about another political party sometimes could be considered as sacrilegious. But we lived through that. In 1996, I lived through it as an associate editor. In 2000, I found myself somewhere, this time as the executive secretary of the National Media Commission, and had to launch the first media monitoring of the coverage of activities of political parties. In 2004, again, I had the responsibility as the editor of the Daily Graphic to steer through the process. So also that carried the cross in 2008. In 2012 and 2016, even though I was a little high up there, I so had to take part actively in how we manage the process as a director newspapers. And many times I had to travel outside Accra to engage political parties on how best we could all together build a nation that we want to have for ourselves. For the state-owned media, elections are critical things, particularly very, very, very expensive. And indeed, one of the prayers that I always said whilst I was at Graphic was that the number of presidential candidates should be limited. Because if you have them as they were coming, assuming that we have 16 presidential candidates, and as a state-owned media, you are enjoying to give each one of them equal coverage, how do you get 16 reporters to follow some of these people who, at the end of the day, may not even get 100 votes? But if you do not follow them and they fail, they will blame you that you are the reason why they have failed. For a private media like you, I think that it is very, very commendatory that despite the fact that you are not obligated to do what you are intend to do, it is good that you are doing that, because at the end of the day, your reach is across the spectrum. And if that is it, and you want to maintain credibility and relevance to the development of this country, then it demands that you open up to everybody. For me, it is not about addressing politicians to speak well, but it's about engaging the media, that no matter how evil the politicians are, no matter the foul language that they use, we as the media have a responsibility to ensure that when we relate to the public, it's responsible. We cannot be irresponsible, because at the end of the day, if we become irresponsible and this country is thrown into chaos, we may not have the nerve even to exist to do what we are doing. It is in our interest that we maintain the peace that we have enjoyed so far, and we can only do that when we open up to everybody and when we keep to the ethics of our profession, that we are fair, that we are balanced, that we are objective, and that we open up to everybody. We must tolerate even those that we do not want to tolerate, because that is the essence of democracy. Otherwise, if we listen to only the things that we want to hear, there will only be fundamentalists. But that is not what we want. I encourage TV3 and all your affiliates to do the things that you are doing, because in my language, they say that when you start buffing early, that's when you are eye readiness. You have begun early, and that is a sign that you are committed to the crusade. Keep it up, and on that note, I pledge to peace. Thank you.
Anything Siabatono, Annie, Measure 2016 general elections, Media General, yet the best sumo, yet say yen central for a group one tineso, echo and peswa a new ediosu and mininaso, and my baby and some will be on the Yokofa at the best sumo, and we are sieno, Pepe Peyo and a Pepe a dainty. Now make Cairo say a fee abattoir, Measure and fear and Pimia new and near Juno 2020. General elections ya yesan ede brown no ye shemo bo se baby asem ni wo biara ye besan so atie ho agumantene so ne akwakofa ede abrow se ehye bom pa ye bewura ne yesan so asisu bio se panempo etofom a ye behwe se wo bete
said ya fimpinu ani dun siemu no ye ye de pepepe no abatwa fia said truko bi enti efri abana ne to ne kan ene ne bobo enti na Media General at the Election Command Center everywhere.
All right, and the Election Command Center, today is the official launch for Elections 2020. We're still taking more messages from some very important and key personalities in our midst. And so we'll move now to the president of the GJA, Roland Afil-Moni. Thank you.
The Chair, Deputy Minister of Information, Chairman, National Media Commission, heads of political parties or their reps, editor of the Daily Graphic, senior journalists, colleague journalists, members of the diplomatic corps, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, let me sprinkle a standout of commendation on TV3 for their peace initiative and the launch of Election Command 2020. The early bird, they say, catches the worm. But the worm contextually are numerous. It didn't take TV3 alone to catch the worm of peace, or to catch the worm of peaceful conduct of election 2020. The point can hardly be articulated that a titanic electoral battle beckons. And as journalists, we need to position ourselves professionally, psychologically, even spiritually, to rise to the occasion. About 4 years ago, we were shackled by fear as a nation and afflicted by doubt. Fear about media-induced violence or even war, and doubts about the ability of the media to do justice to the professional matter. It took the grace of God for us to excel. Here we are again in 2020. The stakes are incredibly high, and we are expected to do nothing but to match up to expectations. Peace, they say, is the ultimate of life. And so as journalists, peace should be preeminent in whatever we write, whatever we say, or whatever we do journalistically. Politicians are politicians. They will churn out half-truth. They will churn out outright lies. They will churn out blatant spin, all in desperate attempts to win elections. But as journalists, we should see through others and be professional, fair, and balanced in whatever we do. May the grace of God help us not to let down this nation. Indeed, peace should govern whatever we say, whatever we write, or whatever we do as journalists. The opposite will spell a catastrophe of unthinkable proportions for this nation. We dare not do that part. On this note, I pledge for peace, and may God of heaven help us all.
Let's put our hands together.
We are leaders in election coverage, and every election year we provide a platform for issues which define the course of our country's development. In 2016, we were outstanding. In 2020, we will be the game changer with unbiased reporting and factual analysis. This is your Election Command Center.
In 2016, we gave you up-to-minute updates from all 275 constituencies. In 2020, we're taking it a notch higher. All the news, the latest reportage, and undiluted content right here from your specialists. This is your Election Command Center.
A never-before-witnessed election coverage in 2016. We lived up to the hype. Ghana's Election Command Center on radio, television, and online. 4 years on, we're more than ready to deliver accurate and in-depth of Election 2020. Trust none other than your Election Command Center.
This is TV3's Election Command Center, your reliable source of breaking news, information, and general news on elections 2020.
Thank you. Definitely, this is your Election Command Center. And thank you, Mr. Thomoni, for that. And we want to acknowledge, we agree that in as much as this is just us, TV3 and Onia, Connect FM, Akoma, and also 3news.com, 3FM 92.7, and Onia TV as well. This is our focal point. But other media houses, it's a clarion call for the entire media in Ghana to commit to this broader objective. And so we're happy that we have Mr. Ebenezer Mpabing, who representing the Director General of GTV, also here, Mr. Ebenezer Mpabing, Director General of the Ghana, representing, I beg your pardon, the Director General of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, please. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Mpabing, thank you. We also have Mr. Franklin Sowa, who is representing the MD of Graphic Police. Mr. Sowa, thank you so much. Thank you. And we're indeed grateful that you are in this with us together. At this moment, we want to hear from the Deputy Minister of Information, Mr. Pius Enamajide. Please, let's put our hands together for him. And a message from government. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Chair of the National Media Commission, the representative of the National Peace Council, the Group CEO of Media General, the Australian Ambassador to Ghana, the President of the Ghana Journalists Association, representatives of political parties. I see my brother and colleague, Kofi. I also acknowledge my senior colleague on the left. Distinguished members of the press, hardworking staff of Media General, good morning. I bring you warm regards of the Honorable Minister of Information, who would have loved to have been here in person, but is out of town at the moment on an equally important engagement of state. He extends his congratulations to Media General on your launch of Election 2020 Command Center in particular, and in general, your partnership with the National Peace Accord from 2012, and your earned reputation for credible election and election-related reportage and coverage. Free and fair elections are rights guaranteed under Ghana's 1992 Constitution. The exercise of this right must be anchored on truthful, reliable, and adequate information that is packaged and transmitted in a responsible and ethical manner. That is the responsibility of the media as the fourth estate of the realm. The media is the voice, eyes, and ears of society, and they offer political parties and candidates fair opportunities to share and discuss information on their various visions and plans, if they have any. It is my understanding that the Election Command Center is Media General's coverage of elections across all its major platforms: TV3, Onia TV, 3FM 92.7, Onia FM 95.1, Akuma FM 87.9 in Kumasi, Connect FM 97.1 in Takrady, and 3news.com. It is our view that election and election-related reportage is critical public service broadcast. It is commendable that a private operator appears to take the lead on such an important public service broadcast initiative. I think the presence of the GTV and the Daily Graphic should, however, assure us that the state will soon follow suit after what TV3 and Media General has started. For a political tradition that prides itself with the repeal of the criminal libel law, the passage of the Whistleblower Act, and the recent passage of the RTI law, the NPP government welcomes constructive criticism, but also encourages the media to choose optimism over extreme negativity and pessimism, thereby pay attention to the several benefits of the various interventions and programs of government. Free SHS, planting for food and jobs, one constituency, one ambulance, one district, one factory, the general economic growth, resolution of doomsday, clearing of the financial sector challenges, the continued fight against illegal mining, restoration of training allowances, and so on and so forth. We owe it to the people to facilitate government accounting. At the Ministry of Information, there are several platforms and products, including town hall meetings, press briefings, policy summits, etc., that help us to do this. And we invite the Election Command Center to take advantage of the important and useful content that are churned out at these events. Government remains committed to the creation and maintenance of an environment conducive to the practice of safe and responsible journalism. I can report that the Ministry of Information continues to work with stakeholders towards the realization of a national coordinated mechanism on the safety of journalists. On an occasion like this, all of us, newsmakers and newsmen, must rediscover our essence and rededicate ourselves as responsible partners in this enterprise of participatory democracy. Newsmakers, such as politicians and government officials, must watch what they say and do. Newsmen must watch what and how they report. Sensational and opinion reportage, which imposes the biased and subjective views of reporters on factual accounts, must make way for reliably factual reportage. We are hopeful that the Command Center will synergize with stakeholders such as the Electoral Commission, the Interparty Advisory Committee, the Information Services Department, the NCCE, and others. As the country prepares to compile a new voters register, for example, the Election Command Center comes in handy as a platform for information dissemination. Election reportage has become a specialized and sensitive matter, and we commend Media General for dedicating resources and hopefully training and retraining personnel specifically towards this. We hope that it becomes a shining example in the industry. Also worthy of note, ladies and gentlemen, is the peace campaign dubbed I Pledge to Peace, to urge all citizens to refrain from activities that will jeopardize the peace and stability of the country before, during, and after the elections. Ghana has witnessed one too many election-related violence. It is gratifying, ladies and gentlemen, that now decisive action is being taken to deal with this monster, which has become known as vigilantism. On the instructions of His Excellency the President, legislation was laid and passed to proscribe the activities of vigilante groups. The National Peace Council also deserves commendation for its efforts, and we should all join hands and urge all political parties and all stakeholders to cooperate with them. In Ghana, we jojo, we do not war. We are grateful to Media General for the kind invitation, and we once again congratulate Madame Beatrice Ajiman Abe and her team of hard-working management and staff on the launch of the Election Command Center. We wish all political parties and all potential candidates who will engage and participate in the general elections of 2020 all the best. Nkonyenya Pius enam hajide medajogbe nantifafa. My name is Pius enam hajide, and I pledge to peace.
Thank you. Thank you very much, the Minister. Thank you for pledging to peace. Finally, you remembered. So I think that's really good. Thank you anyway for pledging to peace. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not only live here on TV3, we're also live on Onia 95.1 FM. We're live on Onia TV, live on 3FM 92.7, Connect FM 97.1, and Akoma FM 87.9 in Kumasi and beyond. But most importantly as well, we're live on the streets as we speak, right here. So we're going to cross over to some principal streets now where we're live. My colleague Nanekia Mensah Brampa is standing by. And Nanekia, tell us what's happening where you are.
And we are coming to you live from the 37 Lorry Station, of course, with the skaters behind me. Raising awareness is our mission here today, to raise our awareness ahead of the December 2020 elections. Now, let me take you back a little. In 2016, we did it. In terms of undiluted reportage, up-to-the-minute reports, we were there to give you all the news updates with the 275 constituencies and the election of the president in 2016. In 2020, we at Media General, we're taking it a notch above in terms of content, live coverage, and up-to-the-minute reports everywhere across all the constituencies in the country. And our mission here again is simple: to throw you back a little to see how the 2016 elections went for viewers out there as well as the general public, and also get their expectations for 2020. Remember, Media General TV3 topped in terms of nationwide coverage for the 2016 elections, garnering some 20% in terms of audience share ahead of the other television stations. Now, one major contributory factor had to do with our hashtag, the Election Command Center, and we're taking it higher. We're making it better in 2020 with the launch of the Election Command Center. We also went abuzz on social media, talk about Facebook, talk about Twitter, and you should expect more because we are changing the game in 2020. We would go around, seek the views of the public to find out how 2016 turned out for them and what they expect in 2020 December. This is your Election Command Center.
I wish that everything will be peace, that there must be common understanding for all the parties that are involved in the election. So I believe that one is okay for Ghanaians so that we live peaceful. That's what we are expecting.
And what are you expecting from the media, TV, radio, or newspapers?
I expect them to cover everything correctly, that it will be positive, not to make bias, that it should be free and fair for the coverage.
I would like probably the media to focus more on the villages, remote areas, see how voting turnout is, especially areas that were considered to be strongholds for political parties and then probably had certain specific promises for them. Just take a look at how the turnout is on those places.
It should be a peaceful election, and also they should fulfill their promises.
I think that this time around we shouldn't allow what went 2016 to happen 2020, because God may have favored us and nothing wrong happened, but this time around it might not be so. So we shouldn't depend on the 2016, the negative things, and repeat them on the 2020. The media must know how to use their voices in talking, because some of the things, the way they exaggerate, let me use the word, the exaggeration from the media should be taken off. My name is Reverend Joy Athate. I pledge to peace.
Right, so we've heard from a cross-section of the public, and as we outdoor our Election Command Center, we will be here, we'll be giving you the accurate reports, up-to-minute news, in-depth analysis, and fair coverage also of the December 2020 elections. That's it from us here from 37. My name is Nana Ikuya Mensah Abrampa. This is your Election Command Center, and I pledge to peace.
My name is Joseph La. I think the media has a big role to play in this coming election, because they are the people who have to expose the rot and other things that politicians do that the ordinary Ghanaian cannot know. But when you go and you exploit and then you come out with those things, then we'll know the better candidate that we can vote for. And then we also want you to also scrutinize the manifestos of the various political parties and then bring it to the fore of the ordinary Ghanaian for us to make an informed choice of the better person that we can vote for in the coming election.
Election, a peaceful one. So, but answer na bibia because ntokwa bia ma no ni na agina ensam trofo na so e bia results no bibia be different no bi so aka different ni ti me de entawa ba ti e pesa mo ma accurate results se be ya enkofa issue bia ma
from ejeni mboatin election ka me pesa sentrofo no omo ma no kra na enadi se obi omo ye obi
interview kra na nipa kono ka yibi na se fi se nya no kra umomu tiasoma ni host no nka no kra chance da bia dia wo ka nya no kra na onhu se on sango twantro sa no wo e ba bibio entem bia na ma mo so se je from ho ye hu ama wo mu se obeka no kra entro bia kire wa nim ntino o me referam na hu no kra wo mu no entim fi se mo ye sa nka beboa ama obia no kra bia beda di wo ayi wo mu kasa yim.
When an issue is out, it is supposed to investigate well before it comes out to the public. So I think that is supposed to done in that way to, solve any situation. Yeah, that is it.
Timamufo hwehwe free nsɛmtwerɛfoɔ ne se yenka o asimasiwe akasati asimasiwe ane amaso obete no ha ne na ye address no ye bi ka ho se enye de eno ne empe ebetimi amantokwa asi o man no. Yes, eno ne hwehwe free nsɛmtwerɛfoɔ.
De me pese media for mo ye ne se mesra media for no kra eye ba akopɛ se bia bɛkɔ unse obetimi etimi eka de bi hu se bia sia ade no bekom na bia nante sa but me sere se ade no hwehwemu hunu se ade ne ansan no aka bia ansan no aka se bia yato aba na wie bia results na beba no no ade betudwa yempene sa esere mu se ya wie ma yisi na ankeka nya de bia obeka anazo wa bedi kan na yi na emum ukọ police station bia de obehu no eno na oka eno betimi amaye mama mo ma ya muhihie emma because we betimi ka asem na tu obi ya me na namrewafo no mtitife no bo so mo ya motu nti esere mo se sa ne ma ni nyina no munya na ade no bia no ana ya hwe sem beye na ya so yatimi akoma beto ye ma ye betimi ato free and fair ana ebenya free and fair election.
Let's put our hands together for them. What you saw were some of our reporters and some principal streets of Accra and Kumasi. And that final point is extremely important. In as much as, yes, there's that race to want to be the first to go put out there, provisional results that point a particular direction. We here at Media General will not sacrifice accuracy for speed. And that's something that we're committed to in the midst of everything that we're going to be doing. So let's bear that in mind. Extremely important. Bella.
Certainly, and we'd like to acknowledge in our midst some other key dignitaries as well before we carry on. And I'm still waiting for how you can say I pledge to peace in any of the northern languages. I've seen that Honorable Suyini is here, so I'm going to make sure he gives us that before we carry on. But you are part Fanti, part Ga, right?
Yeah. My mom is Fanti, my father is
Okay, so which one are you going to... I've already said the Ga, so say it in Fanti.
I'm in the Pasum or something. I mean, like you can, without risking. I'm sorry. Like without risking the political.
How do you say pledge in Fanti? Me pledge my peace.
Me shabo.
Aha. Well, a producer said Mizuna Homa Asumje.
Mizuna Homa.
Mizuna.
Yes, I'm standing for peace.
Okay. Figure it out. I'm going to find Honorable Suyini.
I mean, Bright Simple is here. I mean, he will better.
But I think what you said earlier.
For us, I'm the person.
No, not that one. Who person you saying?
I love.
You want peace.
Yes.
But it says I pledge. But you said something else.
It's Fanti, isn't it?
Me pledge for peace. Listen, I am the Fanti here because that's what I said.
That's Fanti.
That's
Fanti in English.
Well, that's the whole idea, right?
Anyway.
Okay, let's go to Alhaji Suyini. Let me find out from him how it is said. I think in Dagbani, okay.
We've been lacking from the north since before you arrived, so just make sure you don't postpone it as Honorable Pius did.
Yeah. Well, maybe I will emulate your example of also standing for peace instead of pledging for peace. So in Dagbani we say, Nzante Sudo.
Oh, easy. Why are you clapping? If I ask you to repeat, are you going to be able to repeat it? One more time, Alhaji, before you sit. I had P.O. money.
This sounds like a line in the rap of Optional King.
I know.
The mentor. So, really, thank you so much. All we're trying to do is just to reflect the fact that this is not just about us. It's about all the 29 million, 30 million Ghanaians all across the country to buy into this message of peace. And all our speakers have spoken about that and the importance of this commodity called peace.
Yeah. And now we'll invite our group CEO to also come and give us a special message ahead of the
Let's put our hands
official
together.
launch. And also, I'd like to invite, Madam Beatrice Agyemang, before she speaks, I'd like to invite the GM Operations, Mr. Kingsley Winfred Afo, and also Honorable Pius Enam Hadjide, Deputy Minister of Information, and Afil Moni, the President of GJA. Before she speaks, we'd like to go ahead and launch. And so, please, let's do that. So, okay. All right, so kindly join her on the side. Thank you so much for joining us.
Robert Namoda, come as well, please. Thank you.
Another general election is upon us. In 2016, we promised you extensive coverage of the elections, and in 2020, we are taking it 2 notches higher. This year, we are covering every polling center, every collation center, every region, and the national capital here in Accra will be broadcasting live to bring you credible, accurate, and authentic information regarding Ghana's elections. If you want it, we have got it. We have the men deployed across the country, and we promise to give you the best coverage you have ever seen when it comes to elections. We are your election command center, and we are going to be with you from now till the president is sworn in. Who would it be? We will be the ones to tell you who it is. Stay with us. Your election command center 2020. We've got you covered.
Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen. The chairman of the National Media Commission, Mr. Yabodo Ayeboah, for pleasure meeting you. GJA President, Mr. Afil Moni. All protocol observed, Deputy Information Minister. The media is very powerful. The media is the voice of the people. Every information and news we put out there can either impact positively or otherwise on society. And that is why we at Media General are willing to partner all the relevant players to ensure that we have a peaceful and stable country. And so we'll be coming to your doors, we'll be knocking at your doors, and please open the doors to us. We want to preach the message of peace. Mr. Ayeboah said a lot of things during his speech. And if you experience media personnel, you would know that every information you put on social media has implications. And so the experienced person would not even put out anything. So it behoves on us to be careful about the information we put out there as media people. And that is why we are running the peace campaign. We shouldn't take for granted the power we have. And so on that note, with all of us gathered here, I hereby declare the Media General Election Command Center duly launched.
And officially, it has been launched.
Yes.
Election Command Center.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hooray!
Hip, hip, hip. I can't hear you. Hip, hip, hip. Thank you.
Another race to consolidate Ghana's democratic dispensation. Everything Election 2020. The Election Command Center. Live on TV3, Omnia TV, 3FM 92.7, Omnia 95.1 FM, Akuma FM 87.9 in Kumasi, Connect FM 97.1 in Thakradi, and 3news.com. The Election Command Center.
God bless our Ghana and make our nation great and strong, bold to defend forever the cause of freedom and of right. Fill our hearts with true humility, make us cherish fearless honesty, and help us to resist oppressor's rule with all our will and mind forevermore, and help us to resist oppressor's rule with all our will and mind forevermore. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Micah. And he came third place at the just ended Mentor Reloaded.
Wonderful. And the words speak for itself. Thank you so much. We also want to acknowledge Sheikh Aremiao Shaibu, who is the co-chair of the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers and also the spokesperson of the National Chief Imam. Please, Sheikh. Thank you, Sheikh. Thank you so much. We have representatives from some of the political parties. Those who couldn't make it actually sent peace messages as well, which we played earlier. For those who are here, we want to acknowledge them. The PPP sent General Secretary Murtala Mohammed to represent the party. Please, let's put our hands together for the PPP. We also have a number of NDC executives here as well. Kakre Samoa, who is also the communications unit of the NDC, is here. Please, let's acknowledge you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Kofi Adams, former national organizer of the party, is here, and aspiring MP for the Boem constituency. Thank you. Al-Hassan Suhini.
Well, yes, one more time. I mean, because we didn't mention which constituency he represented. And so, yeah, thank you so much for honoring us, MP.
Thank you. And obviously, Pius Sayama represent the NPP and government. Yes, he came in two capacities. Thank you so much. Yes.
Well, yes, so now we're going to move on to the vote of thanks. Yes, it's already time for us to do that. And so we'd like to invite Matilda Abba Haynes from the newsroom, Deputy GM, I believe, to give us the vote of thanks.
It's the head of news. Thank you so much.
Head of news. Well, who knows? I'm speaking into 2020, you know.
Thank you very much. This is the Election Command Center, and I pledge to peace. I'm very happy to be honored by the group CEO, Beatrice Abe, to give the vote of thanks, and Honorable Deputy Minister of Information, Pius Enamhajide, Reverend Dr. Ni Amudako, Board Chairman of the National Peace Council, Chairperson of the National Media Commission, Yabuedu Ayeboafo, President of the GJA, Afel Moni, the Australian High Commissioner, Andrew Barnes, representatives of the Electoral Commission, political parties, civil society, diplomatic corps, members of the media, and representatives of MDs of the media houses. Would also like to say thank you, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Media General, Ghana's leading media company, I would like to say thank you to the Minister for accepting to be the chairperson for this event. We are very grateful. Also, I express my heartfelt gratitude to all guests for making it to this morning's important event. I am particularly excited that presentations and speeches this morning have portrayed the need for peace. It gives me the assurance that we are all committed to upholding the peace and stability we are currently enjoying in the country during and after the general elections in December 2020. Once again, thank you all for coming to be part of the launch of the Election Command Center. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Matilda Abba Haynes is the head of news at Media General.
Thank you so much. And we also want to acknowledge the representatives of the various security agencies, extremely important. We need you as well to keep the peace and security of the country. So thank you so much. Can you please just be upstanding so we acknowledge you? The Ghana Police Service, thank you. We're in contact with all other agencies as well, and we also have the Navy and others also duly and fully represented. Thank you so much for your commitment to this particular call and our objective to maintain peace and order before, during, and after election 2020.
All right, so Alfred says he has a peace dance for us, a special one that he came up with yesterday, and so we're going to wrap up with that. We've never seen you dance, Alfred.
Yes, that's why you don't see me. I mean, it's never happened, and I don't think it will.
It might, you never know.
No.
Maybe another time we'll challenge you. Another time.
This
Deal?
is your election command center. We stick it at that. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
And we are all pledging to peace, and we hope that you would all, in your own small way, ensure that peace and stability remains in this beautiful country of ours. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. And for those of you who watched us as well and listened to us on radio, we're very grateful that you are a bigger part of the family. And we do believe that come election 2020, we certainly would be the only media house that you would try to get credible information from, because indeed we are credible.
True, and we've been live on TV3, 3FM 92.7, Onia 95.1, Connect 97.1, I beg your pardon, in Takoradi and beyond. Also, Akoma 87.9 in Kumasi and beyond as well. Also on 3news.com and TV3 Ghana on Facebook, and Onia TV as well, and Adisawe Productions Limited. And this is all under the Media General umbrella. So we are a big family with lots of people as well in there. And we are committed to peace, aren't we?
Yes, we are. And so thank you all so much for coming. And of course, everything else continues on TV, on radio, and we believe that Election Command Center is here to stay.
True. And I'm Alfredo Kansi.
My name is Berla Mundi. Thank you.
We pledge to peace.
Yes.
We pledge to peace. Thank you so much.